Okay, we're gonna make some macaroni and cheese. We've got our noodles cooking on the stove, and we're gonna start with the topping. Franklin's gonna put the crackers into the food processor. I kind of give the tube of crackers a little bit of a squish to break them up before I put them in there. Okay, yeah. There we go. Careful. Okay, there we go. 2 pieces of crackers. And we have some Parmesan cheese. Put the lid on. Got the melted butter here. Pour it in. Go. Go. So I still use spatula to make sure the kind of all mixed up evenly. So this is the topping that I like to put on top of our mac and cheese. It's kind of just a crispy brown topping. Buttery crackers with Parmesan cheese. Get it all toasty in the oven and it tastes wonderful. It's a nice addition to the creamy mac and cheese. So now we'll just set this aside while we get the sauce ready. Okay, we're making macaroni and cheese. Pretty big favorite in our household, except for Emmett, who likes the box stuff better. But I like the stuff made from scratch. So I've melted 2 cubes of butter in my pan. We're going to add 1 sweet onion that is diced up. You can make this as big or small chunks that you like. You won't hardly notice them once they're cooked up and in the actual mac and cheese itself. So now just kind of saute these a little until the onions get soft and are slightly translucent. Alright, so the onions are almost done here. Get nice and soft. I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic. Get the garlic mixed in and then cook it for about 1 minute more. Okay, so the garlic and onions is ready. You want to not quite have the onions starting to turn brown. So now we add the flour and we whisk it around until the flour has absorbed all of the butter. It becomes a kind of a floury sludge. So basically you cook and stir this for 1 to 2 minutes to get the flour. Okay, so now that the flour is all cooked, you want to keep stirring it constantly while the flour is cooking so that it doesn't start turning brown. That can happen really easy. The flour burns easy and quick. So now we add the milk. So again, you whisk until it's all the way combined in. And now you continue to stir or whisk while it cooks until the sauce thickens. Okay, so as you can see, the sauce is thickened. Make sure it's all mixed up because it'll be thinner in some spots. You want it to all be the same consistency. But as you stir, you see that it starts leaving. You can see the bottom of the pan, it doesn't fill in as quickly. So, now, I like to add the cream cheese first and let it kind of melt a little bit and start before I add the cheddar because the cream cheese takes longer to melt. And so again, you got to stir quite frequently because it will burn to the bottom of the pan, and the cheese, even worse, will burn if you don't keep it moving around the pan. So you can see the chunks of cream cheese are starting to kind of get smaller and smaller. So I'll go ahead and add the cheddar cheese. I use sharp cheddar so you can get a nice flavor without having to add as much cheese. Gives you that good strong cheddar flavor. Keep stirring until it's all melted up and the sauce is a nice yellow color. Okay, so this is what the sauce should look like when it's done. You see it gets this nice kind of orangey yellow color, and the only lumps that you should see in it anymore are the cooked onion. So now, you know, take it off the heat. Even take it off the heat before the cheese is all the way melted, because again, the cheese will melt or burn very easily. So now this is ready to add the cooked noodles to. Alright, so we're going to add our cooked noodles. This is 1 box of elbow macaroni, but you can use elbows or the like curly Q corkscrew ones or the shells. Whatever kind of pasta you like is fine, or whatever you have in your cupboard. So stir this until the noodles are all incorporated. I kind of go heavy on the sauce. You could very easily get away with probably doing half as much sauce. It would be a little bit dry, but you know, not so many calories or fat either. But this is how my family likes it. So, my spatula. That's right. Alright, so now pour this into the pan here. I use my lasagna pan because it's got nice high sides to hold all this gooiness. There we go. Leave the pan over here for the kids to lick. They like all the little leftovers in the pan. Alright, so as soon as you get this evened all out, baby's asleep. So now I have the topping that we had set aside. And I just sprinkle it on. This can be done without the topping. Again, if you're wanting to save on some calories. Of course, this is mac and cheese. I can't imagine this is something you make if you're on a diet or watching your calories. But anyway, or if you don't like the topping or don't have Ritz crackers for whatever reason, it's just as good. The bottom part still turns out the same. So, there we go. Nice even layer. Now I'll cover this with foil and we'll put it in a 350-degree oven for a half hour, 30 minutes. And then we'll remove the foil and cook it for 10 to 15 more minutes to get the top nice and crunchy, crispy, brown. And then what you'll want is you'll want to see the cheese bubbling up around the edges to know that it's done. This is also a really good point to cover it with saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator or even the freezer to cook later. In that case, you would cook it at a little bit lower temperature for a little bit longer. But same, you just want it to be bubbly and golden on top to know that it's done.